Hello everyone. We are going to revise quick concepts of Python that we have learned so far. So let's start with understanding a Python. Python is basically a programming language. It's very easy to understand. If you think it logically, it is easy. Don't think it in a different complicated way. Let's start with the simple basic stuff. If I wanted to display anything, there are few different commands that is fixed that you need to remember. So if you wanted to display any of the message on the screen, you need to use print statement. So if you notice, as I'm typing print, it's going to change the color. That means it is a particular command word that's supposed to be used for the statement in exactly the same way, because Python is a case sensitive, so you need to be very careful when you are typing. Next thing, open and close. The parenthesis is very important for the print statement. It has to be there. In case if you are displaying a text, you need to use double quote. When you start the double quote, you need to end it, or the other way, speech marks. Always we start with the first program as hello world. I'm just typing a simple stuff. We'll save the file. You need to again choose your location properly where you are saving a file. I'm just saving a sample program right now, and then run. So if you notice, it's displaying hello world on the screen. Okay, now this is displaying a message. Okay, if I wanted to display a simple addition, so I delete it. Now for addition, when we are displaying, we don't need a double quotation for numbers. So I'm doing a simple addition, 12 plus 15. Save the file again, run. You can see it's giving me answer 27. Now the other way around, if I am going to add a double quotation over here, let's see what happens. Now this is I'm using in idle Python. You can use any other Python compiler that you are comfortable with. The another is Thoni that we already tried prior at our school level. So both are convenient and easier. So here if you notice, 12 plus 15, as I have written in the double quote, it is giving you exactly the same way. So this is a very minor thing that you have to keep it in mind when working with a Python program. Now if you wanted to ask a user, then the command word that is required is input. Input, that means I am asking user to add something in. When I am asking a user any of the things to be typed, for example their age or their name or username, password, or guessing the number. So this is important, but this cannot go alone because it's a computer don't understand that what to do next. You need to give it instruction. So in that case, when you are writing a simple program and when you are asking a user, you need to ensure that you are saving it in a variable. It's a temporary storage location. So I'm just asking user to enter their name. So I'm giving a variable as name over here. So this is a variable name. Now understand, the name of the variable cannot start with the numbers. It should not have any of the space in between. Okay, so if I wanted to ask first name, I cannot write first name like this way. It is compulsory, you need to use underscore only. You cannot use dash also. It is incorrect. Okay, or just without a space, then also is fine. Now equal to sign, because we are assigning a value which the user is entering. Input, opening and closing bracket is important, and enter your name. Now this is the way they are asking a question, or they are giving a hint for the user that what needs to be typed for them. Now when you are writing about input, it is important for you to mention a data type. Now there are mainly three major data type as far as we have learned. So first is the integer, that is used when you want to add a data in the form of only numbers. Second is float, when you want a data which user allowed them in to be added as a decimal. and the third one is string. For string, for example, for the name, if I'm write my name as Dhara, I don't need to mention it as str. Str is a string data type that is going to be used. It is not compulsory, but if you want, you can add. It's nothing wrong in it. So I'm asking user to enter their name. I'm asking user to enter their age. Here age comes always in numbers, so it has to be integer. Please keep a habit when you are typing. If you have noticed prior also, I am opening and closing a bracket at the same time, so I do not miss closing any of the bracket, and it will not give me any error. Similarly, I am adding input, opening and closing. Same way, double quote, opening and closing. Now here I am writing enter your age. Why I am adding a space? So there is a space that comes when I am typing the answer, and I am writing a height which I want in decimal, so I am adding float. Float or real, both are same, but real is not the keyword that we are supposed to use, so we are using float. Again, parenthesis, input, and parenthesis or curve bracket, enter your height. Now let's see this simple. I am not doing any other stuff. This is only I'm asking a user. Enter your name, enter your age, enter your height. That's it. Okay. So here why it is not displaying it, because I am not adding a print statement over here. If I'll add a print statement, then only it is going to be visible. So in order to display what I am typing or what is the user have added, I need to add a print statement. So I am adding a print statement over here. Then I am writing welcome. Now, if you wanted to join the text and a variable together, do not forget to add a comma. And I am writing name. So it will say welcome Dhara, whatever the name I'll type. Next, print. Now here I wanted to display that you are this year, like this many years old based on the current year or something like that way. Then I need to add comma prior and comma afterwards. So instead of age, I am here using a year, and enter your birth year. Like this way I am typing. So I am displaying the person's age based on their birth year. So your current age is. Now here I am doing a calculation. For calculation there is two ways. Either you can do a calculation with the variable prior, or you can do it directly. So for example, currently is 2026 minus the year which I mentioned. I again put a comma, because whenever you wanted to join a text, the comma at front and comma at back is important. And I am adding a double quotation over here. Your current age is, or I am just writing in a different manner, you are, whatever the year is coming, years old. Like this way I wanted to print. Okay, and next I'll display their height, and I'll type you get a good height. That's it. Save. I'll remove this string and show you this also works. Run. Now enter your name. I am typing. Enter your birth year. Let me type 2000. Height 5.6. Now it has given me error. Now what it has given me error over here? Name is not defined. Now what does it mean? Now name is not defined means the variable which I have added over here, it is not exactly the same which I am adding it, or which for which I am storing the value in. So you need to check here. I am writing here first name, and this is a name. So both the variable is not match. Both the variables are not matching. So I have done. So this is the minor mistake you need to ensure that you are not doing it when you are creating a program. Let's try again. Now you notice it has given me my name. You are 26-year-old and 5.9 you get a good height. So here with the calculation, and here it is giving me prior the variable. This is a very simple and easier way to create a program. Now let's go further. I hope you understand up to this. Now if I wanted to add a conditional block in this particular program, then in that case I need to use if-else statement. Now if is comes with the condition, else if the condition is not correct it will execute the different statement. So one is if and else, another is nested if, that is if and elif. So we have different conditions to be added at that particular time. You can see if, elif and else statement. Let's see it with a different example. To understand if and else statement, let's see a simple example of comparing three different numbers and checking which one is the bigger number. So I am creating two variable n1, n2 and n3. Integer, as I am talking about numbers without a decimal place. Enter number 1. Now the other way you can look at this as when you are working with the Python, you can copy paste. You don't have to type it again and again, because there are few things which is going on same, only the contents are going to be different. But you need to remember that when the content are different, you need to ensure that you are changing it, like what I am doing it right now. For n1, n2 and 3 I have changed the variable name. Now I am just comparing it. So I am using if you see again. Now for if and else statement, it is very much important for all of you to remember is indentation. Whenever you are working with an if and else statement, indentation is very much important. If statement start on the first point, please do not put a space like this in the program. No, please don't do that. It is going to give you error if you are going to put a space like this. So kindly ensure that whenever you are writing from the first line only, no space to be added. Now we are writing first. So a normal logic is if first number is bigger than the second and the first number is bigger than the third, then of course my first enter number is bigger. Now I am going with the very simple way. So I am giving n1 is greater than n2. Now here I am using logical operator and or and not. And is when both the conditions are correct, or is any one condition is correct, and not is the reverse one. So n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is greater than n3. Sorry, my bad, n3. Now here the important thing that you need to understand is this greater than sign. Next, and will not come in a capital, it will come in a small letter. If also come in a small letter. And this double dot, the colon is very important, because that will make you, when after you press and enter, it will automatically give you a space of the indentation. Now here you can see it has come. So I am just going with this print n1 is bigger. Now if I want a number to be printed instead of n1, or if I write the first number, now I am putting a double quote over here, comma n1, again comma and double quote. Now if you notice is was coming in a orange color, that means it is also a reserved word, but we are not going into that right now. So it is very important, again I told you, to put a comma when if you are joining two things in Python. Now, instead of writing else, I am writing elif because I need to check the conditional statement for n2 is greater than n3. So if I don't want to type it again, I am just changing here the order. If n2 is greater than n3 and n2 is greater than n1, again please use copy paste. It will make your work very easy and help you out in writing a program faster. Again, if you want, you can write elif because the third conditional statement is if all three are same, and there are multiple combinations, maybe two numbers are also same, but we are not going into deep dive that particular stuff currently, and we are going at the creating a very simple program. I'm going with the print the third number and 3 is bigger, and rast else. With else also you need to add a colon, that is important. Okay, if you are not adding a colon, it is not going with the indentation. Now see, just it was not going with the indentation. So if I'm adding a colon and tada, it's coming. Now if you are like student is asking, ma'am, if we forget and we are at this time, then what should we do? Simple, yeah, use space bar key. 5 times space bar key and indentation is correct, so just don't worry about it. And I am writing here all are same. Again, as I told you, there are multiple combinations, but we are not going with the much detail about it. I'll run. Now I am writing 34, then I am writing 23 and 78. So as per this, the entry is bigger. Correct, it's giving me correct answer. I hope you understand if and else statement, and this is exactly the way you can try with the different program. For example, if it's asking for the discount or if it's checking for the marks. But one thing that you have to remember is when you are using a variable with the any of the logical operator, you cannot write like this, greater than n2 and greater than n3. This is incorrect. It is not going to help you out giving you correct answer. So please make sure that whenever you are giving a conditional statement, it is important for you to enter a variable. Okay, both the sides, not only one side. How many times you are writing a comparison? The other way around over here is, instead of this, if I have a username, particular username, so I am writing, for example, username for login basically. So I am allowing username. When you are doing a comparison exactly with particular value, you need to use equal to sign. For the text, add a double quotation. If it's not the text, then just write the number. You don't need to add a double quotation. Please do not add. Otherwise, it's going to consider it as a text. So if I want username as Dara123 to allow like this, or if I want a username to allow like Dara123. So whichever condition, so this way you can write an or statement. Okay, and for not you can write a simple way. I am just going not password as again double equal to 1, no, not double equal to, here my bad, 1 2 3 4 5 and double colon. So here if it is only the numbers, you don't require a double quotation, you can write like this. So here it's saying if any of the username it will allow, but only if password is 1 2 3 4 5, the condition will be false. The password is not 1 2 3 4 5 and it will go into the execute the print statement. I hope you are clear with the if and else statement. Now let's move on to the one step higher of functions. Okay, now let's start. When we are working with the functions is like a subroutine. Now, what do you mean by subroutine? Subroutine means a few things that you do it every single day. For example, waking up, taking a bath or brushing your teeth and having a breakfast, go to school, so that you repeat. For functions is exactly the similar way, but in the terms of a programming, where a certain sets of code you want to repeat again and again in your programming. So you do not type that entire set of code again and again. You just write that particular function or that particular subroutine's name, and that helps you out to make your work easy. The other way around, if you wanted to see it, when we are working with the scratch, the scratch is having a certain sets of code called as my block. So that pink color my block it helps you out to create your own set of code with the certain commands which you can use it again and again. Or in if I wanted to explain it in a very simpler way, the broadcast. So broadcast is till the time you are not dropping a message for the broadcast message and the person is not receiving the message, it is not going to reply. So subroutine works exactly the same way. Let's understand a subroutine in a very simple way with the help of a program of area and perimeter of a square or a rectangle. So let's take a rectangle. For rectangle, I'll require length and breadth. So I'm using a two variable length, integer. Here you can use float also. Let me use float. Input. Now, the another important thing is the comments. When you are writing a program, it is important for the third person or your other fellow programmer to understand that this section of code helps you out to do what. So, it's easier when you add a comment, it's easier for them to understand. So, here I am adding a hashtag. Hashtag is used for a single line comment that this lines of code is used to ask user for entering values. That's it. That's for my reference. Another thing you can do is before to ask, we are using a print statement, and here I am writing program to find area and perimeter of rectangle. Okay, so enter length of rectangle. Please note your instruction should be very clear for the user to understand. Next is breadth. The most important thing is I wanted to perform it through my function. So in order to call a function, there are two ways. Either I can call it directly to the print statement, or I can just create another variable called as final answer, and then I can do it. So let's go, because when you're calling a function, you need to store the value at somewhere. Okay, for example, when I'm sending a broadcast message, I'm giving a name to that particular message, that hi I'm saying, or how are you I am asking, like this way. So when you are calling a function, you need to understand that you are going to save it in a variable. If this you are keeping a habit, it's fine. If you are not keeping, you are very confident with the print statement directly. Both the ways are correct. So I am writing final answer like this way, equal to, I am calling a function as area. Now this is the simple function. Now whenever you are calling a function, remember important step, the function should be always at the top. So I am just adding a simple enter, and I am defining a function def. It's a common command keywords that is going to be used for calling a function. The function name is area, double dot and colon. That's also important over here. Now I wanted to perform a calculation. So I'm first calculating an area based on the value. So again, the important stuff is you need to pass an argument or a parameter, because I want this two value to be calculated over here. So I'm creating a variable as an answer. So the area of a rectangle is A into B. So here I am using exactly L into B. And when you are performing a calculation, when you are calling a function, you need to return the value. Is it necessary to return a value every single time? No, not necessary. So I can directly print here the answer. Yes, you can do that. But if I don't want in that particular manner, then I need to return the value. So let's see both the ways. Save the file and run. As I am allowing it to enter into the float, so I am using a decimal value. Now if you notice, it is giving me the answer without me passing a parameter, because this was a very simple basic program. But if in the paper, if it is asking you to pass an argument, pass a parameter, then you ensure that you are passing it. So here I have not passed, but still it has given me the answer. Is it incorrect? No, it's correct. But the thing is it asked in the question paper that the parameter or the argument should be passed? Yes. Then in that case, you need to add L and B. I hope I am clear with everybody, and I hope you understand what I am trying to say. And same variable is going over here. Do not change. Try to be stick to it. The other way, as I told you, is the return. Let's see it in a other way around, in a other what you can say, other version. Now I want to give a choice to a user, that let them choose what they wanted to do, area or parameter. Now here, when I'm seeing a area, it's coming in a decimal point, and I don't want a decimal point to be added. I want a round up value for it. So for that, we need to import math. There's a two different functions, math.ceil and math.floor. Now math.ceil means when you are rounding up a value at the upper level. So for example, if my value is 128.2, it is going to rounding it up with math.ceil as 129. And math.floor will lower down your value no matter after decimal point, whichever the number is. So if my number is 128.7, but math.floor will rounding up at 128. Okay. Now again, for importing library, it has to be at the top. Now after this, I will have to add another choice. So I'm giving choice, and I am asking user to input 1 for area and 2 for parameter. Enter what you want to calculate, 1 area or 2 perimeter. If the value of the choice equal to 1, then it will call this function, else it will call another function called as parameter. Okay, now let's create another function of a parameter. So I'm doing exactly the same thing over here. The second function can be the below. It's okay, you can order, it's fine. So the function name, you need to make sure it's exactly the same thing. Now here, instead of printing it directly the answer over here, I'll return the value. Let's see how you're supposed to do it. So my answer for the parameter is 2 multiplied by a plus b. Now in Python also the board mass rule applied, so please ensure wherever you required you can put a bracket, return answer. Now return answer means the answer value is going to be over here. So I'll put over here hashtag defining functions as a comment. Now I need to print. So I am putting a print. Here you are not writing answer because the answer value that you return, it is going to be stored in the final answer variable. Okay. So you need to make sure that you are not making that mistake. So the perimeter of rectangle is, and you are going to add this particular variable value over here. Now as I told you, I wanted to rounding it off. Now for rounding it off, if I want them to again give them a choice and ask them what they want, math.ceil or math.floor, so I create another function as rounding. Okay, we'll see about that function once I'll tell you what. So I am calling a function over here called as rounding. So here I can directly call a function without a variable also, because I'm going to print it the value over here with the upper or lower side. So here I have just, you can use a same variable because it is being used for different function. That is completely fine. Now if choice equal to, we need to use double equal to sign to compare. If the choice equal to 1, then print. Now I need a value over here that is going to be rounding it off. So it's going to be final answer, because whatever the final answer I am getting, that particular answer is going to be rounding it up with the math.ceil or math.floor. So I'm writing final answer and math.ceil because I am doing it upper value, and final answer as a variable. Else the same thing, I'll copy and paste, and floor. Save and let's see. So 12.5, 12.5. What do you want to? I'm just going area because for parameter I have not done the rounding as of now. I have not added for it. So I'm doing for area. So this is the answer I have given. I have got, sorry, 156.25. Now I wanted to either do it upper side or lower side. I'm choosing 1. It has given me error. Let's see what the error means. So it is telling me the error as it is not able to find the particular number. Let's see what is actually means. Now it has given none because we have not returned the value over here for area. So until unless you are none, if it is coming, that means you have not returned the value. So here I need to return the value of answer. Now please note, the return will come with the indentation. It is not coming below define. Once I return the value, then I can see. So I'll show you once again. So I'm adding the value. Now here you notice it is coming none because I'm not returning a value. Once you return a value of an answer, then it is going to give you the correct. So this kind of error where it is coming, you need to read the error and understand and try to do it with the print statement. Now it has given me the value. Let's see. Now if you notice, it is done exactly the way I want it. Okay, so this kind of error comes. If this kind of error is coming, read on which line number it is asking. Try to print that particular variable to understand that whether whatever you are done is correct or not, and then it is going to make your work much more easier. Let's see the example, because here already returning a value, so for parameter it's not going to give me any error. So I'm giving 34.6, 23.8. I'm doing a parameter right now. Now see, here it has given me error. What error it has given me? I hope you understood. I understood what the error that is. I hope you understood also. So here for the parameter I have shared a two variable or two argument or two parameter, which is L and B, but while performing a calculations I am using A plus B. So this is another type of a logical error which comes where the variable is incorrect. If it is capital and small, then also it is going to give you error. So these are the minor mistakes when you are creating a program. You need to keep it in mind, and then it is going to give you a answer in a proper manner, or it helps you out to execute your program properly. Now I'm doing lower side, it's going to give you 101. I hope you understand every single stuff which I taught right now. Please practice at home. Don't think it as a very complicated. It's very simple if you are working logically. Logic is the most important thing to keep it in mind whenever you are working with Python. Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks for your time. In case of any doubt, please feel free to drop in the comment section.